What up, fams? I'm Frank, and I'm too big to fake it.
And I'm Neum, and I'm ready to send it all day, every day.
Welcome to Faith and Flamez, where we talk stories,
Share insights that no one asked for.
and as always,
Eat some tasty food.
Oh.
Alright, guys. Again, I know that we're not used to this yet, but let's break down the leftovers and have a look at what we did last week, man.
Oh, honestly, those sausages away.
Man, they were good.
The beef sausages, man, it was just juicy, flavoursome.
I enjoyed the aioli. Like I said, I'd never done it before.
Oh, yeah.
But man, it was tasty.
That super soft bread, tip-top, beautiful.
I loved how the heat of the sausages melted that butter, moved right into the onions, and just bangarang, Peter. Bangarang.
Thinking about that, cuz, and how delectable it was to be able to partake of that. Oh,
Delectable.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. I've been doing some reading.
Delectable. I love it.
Thinking about last week's podcast, cuz, alongside with the food, the principles that we talked about, anything stick out to you for the week?
I was at the supermarket, and then there was these two people walking in the middle of the road, and I'm thinking, there's a footpath right next to you. I tried to go around them, and then one of them looked at me and like it was my fault. Like I shouldn't have been driving on their side of the road. So I stopped. I thought about, okay, I can do something here. I can take my vengeance just like the previous week.
Yeah.
Or I could squash it right there because I could see them coming up behind me, and they were about to get to where I was. So I got out of my car and just said, "Hey, good afternoon," with a smile, and they smiled back.
Wow.
Beef squashed.
Yeah.
While we went through the principles of squashing beef and had our own examples, it still takes a lot of energy.
Oh, it really does.
Especially when you're trying to be the good guy, not the bad guy.
It's easier to just be consumed by that anger and that.
Yeah.
I often think about, when I'm stuck in Auckland traffic, maybe Thanos had a point. That traffic, I was like, maybe he had a point, I shared last week about, my friend who, after that, I just felt like I needed to reach out again. And I just, liked a couple of his messages and posts on, on the old social media, just to make sure, because I just wanted to make sure it was definitely squashed.
Yeah.
I felt that nice freeing energy that we spoke of, that I was really wanting to feel again. So, I felt nice.
Bro, I love that, cuz.
You know what else feels nice, cuz?
What's that?
Is knowing what's on the menu for this week. Did you like that one?
All right, cuz, we're going to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
We're going to go to New World.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to get some chocolate. Nah. We're going to go get these things called Simply Dinner Meal Kits.
Oh, lovely.
And what we're going to do is we're going to choose the butter chicken one.
Okay.
And we're going to follow some instructions and learn how to make their butter chicken from their instructions.
Man, that's going to be difficult there because, we like to add a few things here and there and, surely a little bit of this. And when something says 50 grams of butter, you add like 150 grams of butter.
Absolutely.
But, this is going to be awesome, following a meal kit and following it to a T to make sure it comes out the way it's intended to. Well, I guess, shall we go for a walk and pick one up?
No, I've got my car, cuz. I understand the price of petrol, but I'm not willing to pay the price to walk.
That's us, cuz. Let's go.
Let's head off.
I was surprised from those bags. There's actually a lot of ingredients inside one of those bags.
Yeah, it was like the flipping Mary Poppins bag. Just keep pulling stuff out. Just not the stuff I wanted.
It says that it serves 4 people or what?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because it was good to kind of get in the mix of it. I've never made butter chicken from scratch before, or even from instructions. So I usually just go to Shamiana or this place down the road.
Is there any relation to what we're doing here with, I guess, the topic that we're talking about today?
Yeah, definitely is, cuz. Well, now that we've prepped up the food, we're going to prep up the conversation. The conversation for today is going to be based around things that are hard to do. Things that are hard for us to do. Things that maybe other people find hard to do. But also looking at the supports and the different things that have come to our aid in those hard times.
Wow. Man, this is going to require us to be quite vulnerable again.
Yeah.
But, it really gives us that opportunity to look at the now and talk about the issues that we're facing in the now.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think right now, I think I need it too. because, man, there's that saying, when it rains, it pours, man, heaps of things going on, And so, I guess behind these bubbly, happy, people, we're actually also fighting our own, struggles and battles too. So.
I love that, because I think that's everyone. Is that everyone has their own battles. Some share, some don't. Some care, some won't. It's really an interesting space when you open up and you're received versus when you open up and you're not received. Well, people think, harden up. That's something that's really strong here in our country, in our cultures. Get over it. Get up.
That
and carry
noise
on.
in particular, it's probably a good time to maybe get cooking,
Oh, okay. What are you asking, cuz?
Is that us, cuz?
Oh, yeah. Cook it up.
Cook it up in summertime. Got that salt and pepper on the grind. You don't have to do a single thing. We got the vibes that'll make you sing. Chilling out with the family. Tunes and moves is all I see. No more.
Oh, cuz. Man, that pot, man, as soon as we put all the ingredients, I have to admit, when the sizzling happened and the aromas started to come off of those spices and that butter chicken went in, the creamy sauce, man, it smelled good.
Yeah, no, I was grateful that it was step-by-step process where we could actually go, okay, what next? But I do understand what you were talking about, like, maybe it needs this, or maybe it needs that.
Yeah.
But if we put those things in, it would have changed it completely. So I loved how you were just sharing. Nanaka, stick to the process. That works really well today, cuz, into our topics and our discussion of kind of where we want to go, is that a lot of the times when we face our troubles, when we face our issues, we have a certain way of dealing with it. As I was sharing, some people bottle it up, like I was talking about last week, and throw it away. Some people let it build up and burst.
Yeah.
And some people actually are able to share. So keeping that in mind, cuz, is there anything that you want to share around what you're facing or what you're going through?
This one is pretty difficult to talk about, but I'm gonna send it because I love this guy, and I know he's going through a little bit of issues at the moment. So, growing up in my youth, there was 6 boys that kind of I hung out with all the time. And when you start as boys and then you become brothers.
At that point.
These were my brothers. Even in our, adult lives, we still message each other. We've got that group chat. The group chat.
Oh, the group chat.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of my brothers is going through some pretty difficult times at the moment. So he's got cancer.
Oh, man.
It's hit me harder than I thought it would. We've had the opportunity to message, in our group chat and try and, lift his spirits. But it's just really difficult to see him going through and suffering these pains, knowing that there's really nothing that I can do about it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him, say, oh, poor me. But what I'm saying is, when it's a brother, and I'm sure there's some of you who have been through or are going through very similar things, it's really difficult to understand how to help. You feel helpless, trying to navigate, these feelings of sadness, of helplessness, that have kind of, I guess, engulfed me at this time with my friend.
Yeah. I think because, not discounting your friend and the things he's going through, the facts are that you are going through this too. You are going through not what he is, but you're going through your own thing. It's not taking anything away from your friend when you're sharing what you're going through too. So I really appreciate you going into this space. As you're sharing about being unable to help and those feelings that you're sitting with, how are you currently coping? Is there anything that you're currently doing? Because this is one of those things you were talking about. This is a now thing.
So, we've got one of our brothers who is in regular contact with, my friend and his wife. And, he kind of updates the rest of us boys in regards to what's happening. And, one of the updates that we got just recently was, it wasn't, I guess, one that we wanted to hear. I didn't know how to process what I was feeling. I didn't know how to process the news. Like, I didn't know how to respond to the message.
Yeah.
One of the brothers just decided he called,
Oh,
I was
yo.
ringing. Slowly, one by one, the rest of the boys jumped on. It was the same thing. The brothers didn't know how to process it. They didn't know how to talk about it. That's when I truly learned the principle that it's not weak to speak.
Yeah.
The things that I was going through, I'm not going through them by myself.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is my close boys, my brothers, were all feeling the same way. We all didn't know how to process it. We spoke until about 1:45 in the morning, One of the best coping mechanisms and ways to go around it was right in front of me, I didn't think to reach out and talk to someone about it. I'm just grateful, first and foremost, for the courage of my brother who decided to ring up and call the boys.
Yeah.
That's probably been one of the strongest lessons that I've learned here and now, is those feelings of helplessness and at a loss of what to do, is to talk about it with my boys. Understanding that the support systems are there. Sometimes they're right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Understanding too that you don't have to go so far out to look for it. Sometimes the best answer is right in front of you.
What about those times where no one's starting the conversation? Have you been able to start that conversation?
I'm really lucky to have a really good relationship with my siblings too. Best way I can explain it, cuz, is like, when you walk into a dark house, you know exactly where the light switch is, but you have to walk in the darkness first in order to turn the light on. Because sometimes your house, the living room switch isn't the closest to the door, and sometimes you have to make a few steps in the darkness to get to that light switch. It's kind of like that, Sometimes you need that, you have to have that desire to, and that courage to just take a few steps in the darkness in order to see where the light is. I had a pretty bad health scare, but I held that, to myself for a couple of weeks, and it was really heavy. Same thing, I just took a few steps in the darkness to reach out to my brother and my sister and talk to them about it, and man, the love and care that they gave me was incredible. For me, it was just a matter of just having the courage to speak it, and understanding that, there's no shame in admitting that you're struggling. Last week we spoke about squashing beef. This week, the lesson is not squashing beef, but allowing things that you're struggling with to come out in the open in order to feel that freedom and that, understanding that there's those support systems there to help carry you.
It seems very contingent on you actually letting people in. I think that's can be some of the hardest things, is actually saying, I'm not okay, when someone's like, the infamous line, "Oos, you all good?" Because has there ever been a time that you've reached out for help and you've been declined, or it just hasn't been there?
You like fishing, cuz?
Oh, I love fishing.
And sometimes you go out and you test the waters first, and you're not getting any bites here, so pack it up, move to the next spot. It's just at that particular time, it's not ready to receive your bait.
Ooh.
And speaking to that, there have been times when I've I've casted, my reel out, and there were no bites. Like I said, it wasn't because of the situation, it wasn't because of the person, it just wasn't meant to be at that time. It's not a matter of just casting your rod out once and then, you know what, I'm not going to catch anything today. Let's pack it up, go home.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of fishing, is you cast it out often, you change spots. I've been lucky enough to have the outlook that, maybe they're not the person that I need to be reaching out to at the moment. Maybe I'll try again somewhere else. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of that, cousin, thinking of, the things that, what we're going through in the principle today and the support systems, has there been an instance where some hardships that you've been through and some of the experiences of you, how you've dealt with it and things that you've learned from that?
The current one that I'm going through, cuz, is the health journey, the weight loss, addiction to food, all those kind of things at the current. It's quite heavy because of what I did a couple of years back and a year ago. I went on this big journey, did really well, and then it came back with vengeance, and I developed this identity as someone that was doing really well. And so with that development and that identity, people started to look to me to be that guy that stayed on track. The facts are, I fell off the track, I lost the track, and I need a GPS to get back. The struggles that I'm going through are mentally, emotionally, and physically, soon to be medically again. It's being able to acknowledge that I'm currently here, that I got myself here, and I can get myself out. Something that you shared though was not doing it alone.
Yeah.
That I am not very good at sharing.
Yeah.
I'm someone that wants to help others and can come up with real good solutions for other people. But when I'm in a situation where I just don't know the way out, I dig. And I think, cool, I'll just dig deeper in this hole that I've created, and maybe I'll end up out of the hole. And then I look around and the hole's even bigger. Because I put myself here, I put all the onus on me to get me out. And I don't want to reach out to others. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to burden anyone else with this thing that I've created.
I understand, like, you know, it's something that's really prevalent in our culture. Like, you know, when you're the person, you feel like you need to carry the
weight?
The weight. Hey.
I'm carrying the weight.
No, but I'm thinking of, you know, like, you know, Enrique Iglesias. I'm thinking of his "I Can Be a Hero, Baby." You know, and we're often that person. What I want to ask, cuz, is what do you think are the barriers that, like, are stopping you from asking for help?
It's been an ongoing issue since I was 8. And so I expect any issue that others have to click after like 10, 20, 30 years. And so because I have that expectation on others, I have that expectation on myself, where I'm like, bruh, come on, click.
Yeah.
You know that this plus a whole lot of that equals all of this. And so I think the burden that I'm talking about relates to the burden that I put on my family as they grew up. The things that they would have to do, like, man, my kids would have to tie my shoelaces. When I'd walk into the house and there were people around and I had my shoes on, I'm like, I'd call my son to my room, son, come, so he could take my shoes and socks off because I couldn't bend over and do it. And so those are just some of the burdens. And so because of all of that, I don't want to burden anyone with what I'm currently going through. It's a hard thing. Some people might just look at it and go, stop being so fat, bro, just stop eating. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to, but have you seen some of the food on Uber Eats? So there's a whole range of different reasons. The answer to one of your other questions is that no. Every time I've reached out, someone's been there. Even when I haven't reached out, someone's offered. I have this lone wolf attitude, which is actually affecting my family if I keep going this way.
Yeah.
And so I'm at this crossroad now, like right in the now, where I have to make a decision. And that decision is to do something different to get a different result, or keep going the way I'm going and end up where I ended up before, which was hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just looking at these hard things that I need to do and figuring out how I go about it.
Is there something hard that you need to do now?
It's hard to start a journey. It's hard to start a diet and start exercising. But I found that it's even harder if you've done it, you've done really well and fell all the way back to the start. You know, like when you're playing snakes and ladders and you're like, yeah, I'm at number 99 and land on a snake that takes you all the way back to space number 2.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes when you're on that snake and you go all the way down, you just feel like giving up. You're like, nah, bro, I've done that journey. I'm over it. I tried and I failed. Now it's that time where I have to revisit something. And that's something that I've found hard to do. And it's the 75 Hard Challenge.
Yeah.
That is where my journey really took off. And I never wanted to do it again. I didn't want to do it again. And so it's really having to humble myself and also go back and grab a hold of those supports that got me through it last time. Wow. That's one of the hard things, is asking them to be there like they were before. Yeah. Asking them to go through the moods that I went through, the supports that I needed, in the hope that I will carry on but knowing in the back of my mind, possibly in the back of theirs, I may fall off the wagon again, and we may be all the way to square 99 and hit that snake again. Not that I want that, not that I'm projecting that, but I am accepting that that's a possibility. So with that acceptance, there's a bit of fear to even start the journey again.
Yeah.
Because I was actually supposed to start today. Doing it alone is quite heavy, but doing it with people, it's that, bro, just having to do that.
Now that you're looking at it, what are you kind of looking forward to receiving from these people? I know you said you're receiving support and stuff, but, you know, I guess it's nice for us to start to acknowledge, I guess, you know, the support that you'll be getting.
What I'll be most happy with is being able to do it properly this time and actually acknowledge the people that are a part of it and know that everyone's just there to help. They're not wanting anything from me. Like you said, they're wanting to give me things, give me support, give me a keep going.
Knowing you like I do, because I know it's really difficult for you to receive things. Yeah.
What I love the most, cuz, is that we have talked through a lot of these things and now have basically a step-by-step process to follow for each of us to be able to acknowledge that, you know, your messenger chat is such a positive space for not just you, but for the group of you. And being able to be in that space to give back to your friend that's in need right now. These steps now for me to be able to open up and try to let others in to this journey that I'm about to go back on.
And you know, what's funny is at the instructions it says, you know, let it simmer, serve when ready.
Ooh.
You know, and so, cuz, I don't know about you, but I think I can smell it. It smells ready to me. Is that us?
Because I was born ready.
All right, then. Hey, shall we set the table?
Let's do it.
No stress, it'll be okay. Drop your cares, let them fade away.
Nah, this is smelling incredible, cuz. It looks good. From our conversations, you know, I tell her that we had. Is there anything that, you know, has kind of stuck out to you that you're probably going to try and implement this week?
As you were sharing your experience, I thought, man, how many other people are out there that don't have a messenger chat group, that need one, that don't have someone to catch up with, that don't have a group of people cheering them on as they walk down the road being loud as, you know, so I'm like, that's kind of what I want to do. What about yourself?
I feel like this week I'm going to try and open myself up to make sure that, you know, I allow other people to comfort and help me. I don't have to be the mask, you know. I don't have to be Jonah pushing people off. Yeah, it's okay to receive that help.
It's okay not to be okay. To be straight, if there's nowhere else to reach out to us.
Definitely.
Hit us up on the podcast or DM us or write comments down below and share with us. For everyone out there listening or watching, our encouragement is to share a bit of light in someone's life this coming week.
Come and jump on these social media platforms over here, cuz. Yeah. And share some light and love over there. We love reading your comments, your emails. So, man, keep those coming through too. The DMs. Some of you who DMing our TikTok, oh man, there's some pretty good stuff there. Keep those coming in. But man, we really appreciate you guys tuning in, because I'm ready to get down on this.
I was born ready.
That's us. I'm Frank.
And I'm Neum.
And this is Faith
and
and Flamez.
Flamez.